Hey, so something really interesting just happened inside the walls of OpenAI, and if you care about where AI is heading, you're going to want to hear this. OpenAI has made a pretty significant internal decision. They're combining Codex, their specialized AI coding tool, with ChatGPT. And look, on the surface that might sound like a simple product merger, like shuffling things around on a shelf. But when you actually dig into what this means, it tells us a whole lot about how OpenAI is thinking about the future of artificial intelligence and, honestly, where the real money is. So let's rewind a little. Codex was OpenAI's dedicated system built specifically for writing, understanding, and debugging code. It launched back in 2021 and it was actually the engine powering GitHub Copilot, which became this massive tool that millions of developers use every single day. Codex was kind of like the quiet workhorse in OpenAI's stable, not as flashy as ChatGPT, not getting all the headlines, but doing serious heavy lifting for the developer community worldwide. ChatGPT, on the other hand, you already know. It became the fastest-growing consumer application in internet history, reaching 100 million users in just 2 months. It's the face of OpenAI. It's what your parents ask you about at Thanksgiving. Now, the question is, why merge them? Why take this specialized, focused coding tool and fold it into the broader ChatGPT universe? Well, here's what's really going on. OpenAI has been watching the market closely, and they're seeing that the line between general AI assistants and specialized AI tools is blurring incredibly fast. Developers don't just want to write code in isolation anymore. They want to be able to write code, explain that code, document it, brainstorm architecture, debug problems, and do all of that in one seamless conversation. Keeping Codex as a separate product was actually starting to create friction rather than solve problems. There's also a pretty significant business logic here. OpenAI is facing intense competition from Google with Gemini, from Anthropic with Claude, from Meta pushing open source models hard. Consolidating your flagship products means you're concentrating your improvements, your compute resources, and your brand recognition into one powerhouse system rather than splitting attention across multiple platforms. It's a smarter way to compete when the battlefield is this crowded. And think about what this means for ChatGPT users. Essentially, the coding capabilities that developers were previously accessing through a separate specialized system are now going to be baked much more deeply into the ChatGPT experience. So if you're a developer, or even just someone who dabbles in coding, your ChatGPT is about to get significantly more powerful in that department. We're talking about a system that could potentially handle complex multi-file coding projects, understand entire codebases, and engage in the kind of deep technical reasoning that was previously reserved for Codex specifically. This also signals something broader about OpenAI's product philosophy. Rather than building a suite of narrow tools for different use cases, they're doubling down on the idea of one highly capable, general-purpose AI that can handle virtually anything you throw at it. Which is a fascinating philosophical bet, and honestly, it's a bet that has enormous implications for everyone in the tech industry. For the millions of developers who rely on these tools daily, this integration could be transformative. But it also raises real questions about whether combining everything under one roof might dilute some of that specialized focus that made Codex so effective in the first place. And that's the tension that nobody quite has an answer to yet, because when you try to make something that does everything brilliantly, sometimes you risk making something that does nothing exceptionally. Something to sit with.